Realmente el tema de agentes de inteligencia artificial está tomando todo el interés del mundo. Al principio, el ser humano podía medir diferencias por inteligencia. Eso ya no existe. El coeficiente intelectual ha sido nivelado por los agentes. Y cuando existen vientos de cambio, algunas personas construyen un muro, otras personas construyen un molino. Estamos con esto tratando de compartir con ustedes información muy importante. Tenemos a un apreciado amigo y un experto en el tema que va a compartir con ustedes información muy importante. Vamos a hacer la presentación en inglés, vamos a hacer algunos resúmenes en español para que podamos todos apreciar el contenido, el rico contenido que tenemos. Así que vamos a arrancar en inglés y luego va a haber una introducción para que puedan conocer a nuestro invitado y va a haber una presentación a lo largo del camino. So, good evening, everyone, and a warm welcome to our webinar, Agentive Healthcare, AI Agents in the Future of Care. I'm Victor from Nova, and I'm thrilled you join us because today's topic isn't just about innovation, it's about relevance and leadership in a healthcare landscape that's rapidly changing. So here is the reality. Healthcare organizations that fail to embrace intelligent automation today will find themselves outpaced tomorrow. The shift isn't coming, it's already here. And the organizations that are investing in AI agents are already seeing exponential gains in efficiency, care quality, and patient satisfaction, which means cash flow. This isn't about replacing people, it's about scaling human potential, about giving healthcare personnel the tools to do more, care more, and deliver better outcomes faster, safer, and smarter. Today, we'll dive deep into the core of this transformation, agentic AI, or AI that doesn't just respond but acts, AI that doesn't just analyze but decides and adapts. This is the future of healthcare, and those who understand it early will lead. So, whether you're a hospital administrator, healthcare innovator, or executive navigating AI strategy, today's webinar is your blueprint for moving forward faster. Now with you, Victor Andres, which is our IT and marketing manager. All yours, Victor.
Thank you. Thank you. That's actually correct. Some facts to take into account is that according to recent data from McKinsey and the World Economic Forum, over 70% of healthcare executives expect AI to be a core part of their digital transformation strategy for 2026, with AI agents specifically projected to automate up to 30% of administrative and routine clinic tasks. Like, for example, patients' diagnostics to managing scheduling and even billing cycles. These systems, they are not theoretical. They are being deployed right now, actually, in hospitals, clinics, and even telepath platforms around the world. Yet, despite these gains, fewer than 20% of healthcare industries have a mature AI strategy, leaving a massive opportunity gap for early adapters to pull ahead.
That's right. I am Stephanie. I am the business development manager at Nova. And to add on that, for companies that delay adoption, the consequences are becoming clear. Higher operating costs, slower response times, and a growing disconnect from digital native patients and staff. The healthcare workforce crisis, combined with the rising patient expectations, makes intelligent automation not just a competitive edge, but a survival imperative. Shortly, we'll see AI agents evolve from operational assistants to clinical collaborators, powering predictive care, real-time diagnostics, and personalized medicine at scale. So, organizations that embrace this shift today will define the care models of tomorrow, and those that don't may find themselves locked out of the next era of healthcare delivery. Now, with that in mind, Please let us introduce you to our special guest, which is Roger Rohatgi, Chief AI Officer at Chai. He combines behavioral science, human-centered design, and engineering with agentic AI. His mission is to create high-impact innovations that deliver tangible business results. He leads the vision for AI initiatives, integrating experience design, and developing multi-agent systems to amplify human potential. He has an impressive track record in digital transformation for top brands such as Verizon, Twitter, now X, Hyundai, Microsoft, Apple, Chevron, and also major television networks such as MTV, ESPN, Nickelodeon, Fox, NBC, CBS, ABC. I will just translate the last part for you to understand this, because it's very important. Con esto en mente, demos la bienvenida a este invitado especial que es Roger Rohatgi, director de IA en Chai. Combina la ciencia de comportamiento, el diseño centrado en el ser humano y la ingeniería con la IA agéntica. Su misión es crear innovaciones de alto impacto que generan resultados empresariales tangibles. Lidera la visión de las iniciativas de IA, integrando el diseño de experiencia y desarrollando sistemas multiagente para el potencial humano. Roger, welcome. The floor is yours. Please introduce yourself.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Stephanie and Victor, and Victor, of course. It's an honor to be here with all of you, and especially to be a guest of Nova, an amazing company that I'm excited to be able to speak tonight with and for. And all of you that are watching and those that watch in the future, thank you again for making time and being with us as well. I'm going to share my screen and going to jump into a presentation here. And hopefully everybody can see that. And so today, or this evening, we're going to talk about AI agents, the future of healthcare. And you know, it's an interesting thing because this journey that I've been on in my career has brought me to this place now where all this work that we're doing on AI agents is very exciting. But my career started, you know, 25 plus years ago in graphic design, and you know, I cut my teeth with old school Photoshop and different tools like that, you know, and moved quickly into web design and Flash design when that was a thing, and then also had the opportunity to write and produce a film that won an international award for an independent film, as well as go into television innovation, where we created the first social television network in the United States. We partnered with people like Mark Burnett, who created Survivor, The Voice, and some of these popular shows to bring interactive TV to the country. And it was really cool being on the cutting edge of all of these things. I mean, even some of the designs that we did went into an app called Vine, I believe, that was a precursor to TikTok. And so over the course of my career, I continued to understand the value and the need for good user experience, digital transformation, and really harnessing these technologies with a human lens and humans at the center. And so I oversaw design at all sorts of different companies, SaaS software companies, as well as companies like Motorola. And in the last almost 5 years, I spent as the chief design officer at BP, the energy company, overseeing design across the globe and overseeing that design across 200,000 interfaces. During that time, I spent some time in AI, and I'll kind of talk to you a little bit about some of that, and then we'll kind of go into the future of what AI in healthcare looks like as well, and then some questions. One of the things I wanted to tell you about my background is I'm here based in Houston, Texas. My father's from India, and my mom is from Mexico. And so her family originated from Spain. She was born in Mexico, in Monterrey. So so anybody watching from Mexico, major shout out there. And so, I am very excited to be able to speak to the whole community here in Latin America. So without further ado, I'll jump in now. So where do we need to start, right? We need to go back to the beginning. And it's interesting because this year, 2025, marks the 75th 70th anniversary of artificial intelligence. In 1955, the term was coined by John McCarthy at Dartmouth College. And since that pivotal moment, AI has evolved dramatically. And it obviously from that 1955 term, things have tremendously evolved, not just in AI, but also in user experience and the way that we use technology. But it's all culminating now, especially this year, which is very interesting. So what I want to talk to you about first is just kind of going a little bit deeper on AI itself, right? And there's these terms that we are hearing that, generative AI, and I know that we've been talking about agentic AI already on the call. And so I want to go a little bit deeper into what those are. And so generative AI is what many of you and myself love using as it relates to ChatGPT or some of these more popular tools. And these tools are interesting because really, November 30th, 2022, when ChatGPT really launched at the version that we all are kind of used to and accustomed to now, is what I believe that the world AI didn't become aware, but the world became aware of AI. And since that moment, this generative AI revolution has begun to change the way that we do everything, from the way that we write, the way that we research, the way that we do school, and all sorts of other things. And so the interesting thing about generative AI, as you all know, is it's somewhat static, right? Because you have to put in a prompt, and then you get a response, right? You get a result. And that generates maybe text, it might give you images, video, and even code. So it creates that content, right? So it's very powerful, but it's very static and basic. But with agentic AI, these are AI agents that can take action and make decisions and act independently. They can plan, execute, and adapt, and they have goals that are set for them, and it can be quite powerful. So to give you a stronger definition than that, agentic AI refers to how AI systems are designed to act autonomously, proactively, and intelligently toward achieving specific goals. These systems demonstrate initiative, awareness, and context, and the ability to make decisions, like I mentioned. They're goal-oriented, adaptive, which is a very key thing. They're interactive and self-improving. So AI agents, they're individual entities that perceive their environment, reason through options, and act upon it to fulfill their objectives. So you can think of them as your digital coworkers or collaborators, like Stephanie said earlier. And what's great about that is that they're capable of handling tasks, coordinating with other agents. They can schedule appointments. They can handle customer service conversations, and on and on and on. So very exciting what these agents can do, and we'll actually get a chance to show you some here in a little bit. So this era now of agentic AI that we're in, some people call the third wave of AI, is upon us, and it's moving very quickly. And these AI agents are starting to enter the workforce everywhere. Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, said we believe that in 2025 we may see the first AI agents join the workforce and materially change the output of companies. And when I was working at Harvard, working with Harvard, when I was working at BP, I had the opportunity to work on a project we called Synthetic Humans. And basically we created digital twins of our customers to be able to research a wide range of issues and analyze feedback. And it was the first documented use and case of something like this that we know of. And now I believe it's taught in the Harvard Business School. And so these synthetic humans were fascinating, and what we got to learn from them and what we got to do early on and interact with them. Now things have evolved since then. That was back in 2023, but it was a very exciting time. And I remember thinking about what the future would look like, not just with synthetic humans or digital customers or digital twins of our customers, but what would it look like as digital twins of ourselves? So how would we be able to multiply our abilities and not just be replaced, but enhance all the things that we can do with all of these synthetic humans that work for us based upon our digital DNA. Some of them could be handling tasks for scheduling my appointments, calling doctor's offices, dealing with my finances, maybe on a Zoom call or even speaking. They could even, handle, a side hustle perhaps, or, be in a video game. And so with that multiplication, or what I call multi-potentiality, the interesting thing is that then, in the future, companies may not be just hiring you for you or me for me, but they would be hiring us for all the versions of us that come along with us. That potentiality, or that multi-potentialite that we become, is, I think, one of the exciting aspects of what AI can do. But I wanted to just show you a quick video and see what you think about this.
Hi there. Did you know I speak many other languages? Por ejemplo, este soy yo hablando español. これは私が日本語で話しているところです。Je peux aussi parler français. Incroyable, n'est-ce pas?
So I'll pause there, but what I wanted to show you, the reason I wanted to show you that is obviously that isn't me. That's a complete AI digital twin of myself. So just like I was talking about, it's my synthetic human that now can speak in almost any language that is available and say whatever I want it to say. Consequently, somebody could also have it say something that I don't want it to say as well. So yeah, it's quite an interesting time for sure, and the future is very exciting. I'm going to pause here and see if there's any questions about any of the stuff that I shared already.
Sure. Roger, talking about healthcare, we have people from the healthcare industry in this meeting already. And in your experience, what are the most common misconceptions healthcare people have about AI agents?
Yeah, so that's a good question, and we're going to get into healthcare and AI in just a second here. But I think I think everybody has a myriad of thoughts and views on it. And I think the misconceptions. I do believe that some people think that it really will replace everybody and replace everything, and I think that's not necessarily the case. And for at least quite a while, I think that there is something very powerful about human touch and the human care, and we'll kind of get into that a little bit. I think that there's some misconceptions around how long it takes to implement these agents or build them or get them deployed, or how to integrate them into the workflow. There's also some misconceptions about how accurate they are. A lot of people think that there's hallucinations and things, which there are, but these have gotten quite advanced now. So that's becoming less and less and less. And there's so many more that we can dive into, Victor. But perhaps I'll just go into this next slide, because I think it's apropos to what you were mentioning there, in the sense that this quote came from the dean of the Harvard Medical School. And he said that with the internet, the use of generative AI, which we just talked about, in science and medicine, has both tremendous potential and serious risks. Implemented responsibly, tools powered by generative AI can improve the care of patients, speed the development of therapeutics, and help us gain a deeper understanding of scientific mysteries. The key is to ensure that human experts, physicians, and scientists are at the center of these efforts. It's quite interesting. Now, I happened to have a chance to go and speak at Harvard's AI Summit last year. It was their first AI Summit, and that's where we debuted the synthetic humans. But one of the interesting things is that we had a dinner the night before the speaking, the commencement of all the speaking, and the speaker for the dinner was the dean of the Harvard Medical School. And what he said was quite interesting. He said that ChatGPT-4 at the time, this is in 2023, so just keep that in mind. He said that, I believe he was saying that it was better than 85% of those taking the medical examinations. He said, thankfully, those that go to Harvard perhaps maybe are in the higher percentile. However, I'm sure that gap is closing fast, and now, almost 2 years later, I can imagine it already has closed. But it was very interesting to hear him speak, because he was talking about how they were already looking at putting agents or what they called co-pilots into all of these practices. And especially where they saw the statistics that they shared, and especially saw the impact, was as it relates to medical malpractice cases, where maybe the wrong limb got operated on, or some mistake happened or something got, left inside the body through a surgery or whatever. And what was interesting is that he said that AI has already begun to help reduce the percentage of those mistakes as it relates to the malpractice. And so the accuracy is getting better and better. Now, again, that's in 2023. So very exciting to see what that could do for patients in 2026 and beyond, right? And where it's evolved to. One of the things I'll show you here is what I believe is the kind of the future of healthcare. And I call that agentive healthcare. Now, some of you might say, well, what are you talking about agentive? You just said agentic. And so agentive is a portmanteau or a combination of the word generative and agentic to create that word agentive. And why did I create that word? It's because, obviously there's others that have spoken about this word, but the reason why I kind of grabbed a hold of it is because I truly believe that to make the difference that we need to have, especially in healthcare, we need to have the generative side and the agentic side working together synonymously. And so that's where I believe the future of agentive healthcare comes in, which it creates a smarter and even a more human-centered care with these AI agents that can leverage all the generative tools. So this future of support is quite interesting because agentive healthcare really not just combines generative AI and agentic systems to deliver smarter and more responsive care, but these agents do more than create content. They observe, they learn, they act to support patients, clinicians, and care teams. So there's like real-time triage, monitoring, and care coordination. They can automate workflows while keeping humans in control, enable proactive and personalized healthcare at scale. And they are designed to support clinicians and empower patients. So we're going to get into a little bit more about that in just a moment here. So one of the things that, I can definitely, point out is that there are so many use cases and there's so many opportunities for these AI agents in healthcare, but just a few of the ones that I think are really powerful are here on this screen. So the first one is a clinical support agent. And so they can manifest themselves in a myriad of ways, but basically they can do diagnostics assistance, symptom triage, and clinical decision support. And we can get into that later through what all that might be. But patient engagement is another one where virtual assistants, can help with appointment reminders, follow-ups, even medication tracking, even medication reminders perhaps as well. And then of course, administrative automation, right? Streamlining the billing and the scheduling and the insurance verification. The operational efficiency that's gained by optimizing resource management and staff scheduling could be very important. I guess there's somebody out there in the world that has the same name that I have, my legal name, and I constantly get texts, hey, Dr. Rohatgi, are you available to do this surgery or whatever? And I'm like, that's not me. So seriously, they need some AI to help them because nobody wants me operating on anything. And then the last is medical imaging and anomaly detection. I think this is very, very exciting, and we'll talk about this a little bit here in a moment, where we can use vision-based AI agents to detect anomalies in X-rays, MRIs, and scans for more accurate diagnosis. And I'll actually show you some of that here in a minute. But let me pause there and see if there's any questions before I keep going.
Yeah, I have one question about that. What makes agentive healthcare fundamentally different from the traditional health IT solutions? Because here in Latin America, they have this department and they might say, well, I think this is like just a tech upgrade. But if you can give us some thoughts about that.
Yeah, I think, look, it is an upgrade, but and I think that's a good thing. But on the other side, when you think about what we have today in our systems and our legacy systems, many of them they can certainly have connections, and we can wire up the communications, but there's still so many silos, so many gaps, and so many broken connections between all the things that have to happen for the doctor, the clinicians, the practitioners, the office managers, as well as the patients. And even with the IT that we have today, the experience isn't great at all. But with agentic healthcare and agentive combination, that gives the opportunity for these agents to find those gaps themselves, right? They can fill in where these issues are breaking down, where they can learn and adapt to fix processes, and they can even spawn other agents to do a task that it wasn't designed to do or told to do in the goals that it was set. So you could almost it's almost like onboarding new and more employees to take care of different things very rapidly, and these agents can just do that themselves. The interesting thing is that it also enhances human ability and human decision making and insight. I think that's a very key thing, because our IT systems today, sure, they might be able to store the data on a patient. They might be able to give me the documentation that I can go to read about it. But and maybe I can read somebody else's analysis of the situation on cases that are happened to in clinical trials or to a patient. But with AI, it can understand all of those cases, not just in your own system, but across the globe, and all the literature, and it can analyze very quickly and faster and find connections and anomalies that maybe we couldn't spot as fast. And so it could accelerate our healthcare and the practices, and it can also amplify our human potential on what we can do with it. And so, and we'll get more into that here in a little bit. So perhaps I'll go to the next slide and just share a little bit about some of the things I'm seeing as the trends. And so I think what's interesting here is that there are real world impactful solutions that are starting to emerge. And Agentive AI is poised to not just disrupt healthcare, but completely transform it inside and out. And I think that could be a really good thing. So on the left, there's these capabilities, right? That take telehealth triage. So this could be very powerful because it can reduce wait times and improve patient routing with intelligent agents. Everybody knows they hate to wait at the doctor's office. At least I do, and it's so painful. I was at one the other day. It was a 2.5 hour wait, and I was like, this cannot be the way it always is, right? And it is. It was packed. Everybody was in there waiting. And this is a very good doctor, and I totally get it. But we've got to be able to fix that, right? So hopefully AI can help there. There's also the ability to summarize the charts and look at the details of the data and the visits that the patients have had. So adaptive messaging can be shaped by continuous feedback loops from that, and it can summarize the charts very quickly. It can handle revenue cycle management, where there's living and responsive identities for market signals, but also how we can see what the revenue could be in the future for for the medical practices. Smart scheduling. So appointment booking through voice and chat in real time, adjusted to the needs of the patient, right? Remote patient monitoring. Imagine being able to track vitals and symptoms in real time to enable proactive care before you ever have to go wait in the waiting room. And it can, give you solutions and also take action to do things, or at least notify the doctor as well. Care navigation, so guiding patients to services based on symptoms, history, and coverage, but it can also guide the doctors as well and the practitioners. Intelligent intake agents can take so many different forms, but automating form collection, insurance checks, and verifications, and pre-visit prep are some of those. And that intake is so important because a lot of time is spent in having to fill out those forms too when I'm sitting at the doctor's office. So imagine if I don't have to do that anymore, and they already know who I am, and every time I walk in, they already know that I'm, what I had in the past, and it can already show that with the doctor, and then all I'm doing is maybe just signing my HIPAA form or something, right? And then the clinical decision support aspects of these agents can really bring assistance to providers with real-time insights based on patient data and guidelines. And as I get through this presentation, you're going to see some even more advanced things that AI is doing in healthcare and will be doing in the future. So let me pause there for a moment and see if there's any questions.
Right now from the public, we don't have any questions, but I do have a question about, for example, given the current strain of healthcare system, from, like you say, from people like tracking vitals, or doctors that they lack from staff, to rising patient expectations, how urgent do you think the providers to, how can I say it, to begin providing the integration of AI agents like those offered by Chai into their core workflows? I don't know if I explained myself well.
Yeah, no, so I think, thank you for the question. I think you were asking like how soon or how urgent is the need to be able to get these agents and get this AI into the practices around the countries, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so obviously there's three sides to look at, right? So one is the competitive advantage, right? So if you are in a particular field that has high competition, maybe there's a dental office on every corner, then this is clearly going to give an advantage before, so as a first mover advantage before any other maybe practice has it, although they're all looking at it. The second is it's going to I think increase the value of what you do with patients, and if they know that they have all these different aspects to their healthcare and that you know more about them, and it's it's even a richer data set, I think that's really important, and I think that shows the quality has gone up, and so I think the quicker that medical practices get into that, it's going to be important. But then on the other side, I think just this is advancing so fast, and so I think being able to leverage this technology at pace will continue to keep the the knowledge fresh, and also the forward direction of where this a practice wants to go, or where a hospital wants to go, or a system wants to go, or a doctor wants to go. And I think that's going to be really important because, like just take the dental scenario, like I mentioned, when I have gone to my dentists over the years, every new one I go to, or whatever, they have some new machine or some new thing. I was just in one the other day where the x-rays for my teeth, you stand there on this thing and you hold these little handles, and this thing flies around you, and you can't, if you move, it'll I guess break your head. But you have to just stand there, and it does a full 360-degree resonance of your jaw and your dental areas, and so it gives the doctor a whole 3D way to look at your teeth. All that happened just in moments. I didn't have to go. I didn't have to do anything extra. It was all there, and they had all these other state-of-the-art things, and so. Even just for, comfort, right? So I remember back in the day, they didn't have TVs on the wall, and now they do. And it's always dangerous when they give me the remote, because I'm just switching, channel after channel after channel and show after show, especially those home improvement shows. Those are cool. But anyway, but then, like they laid me back, and I was like, oh man, I can't see the TV. I'm not going to see what happens to, the renovation. And then all of a sudden I look up and there's a TV on the ceiling, So, there you go. It's like the advancement of technology is already happening in our medical practices. How much more should we lean into now what AI can do, which is way more valuable than having a TV on the ceiling, right? And so, yeah, let me pause there. Did you want to say something, follow up with that?
Yeah, I just want to say, if the people who wants to say something or have a question, just check the Q&A or put on the chat. If someone in the audience, don't be just be brave and ask. Okay, so yeah.
Don't be shy.
Don't be shy.
Right. Well, cool. So let me just jump into some of the next things so I can introduce you to some of the agents, and we can talk about those, and maybe that'll spark some more questions. So the way that we kind of see in Chai, some of the most popular types of agents fall into three main categories. We call them vision agents, voice agents, or answers agents. Answers agents are interesting because they deliver instant, context-aware answers from healthcare data that's secure, of course, and it has role-based access. But this is kind of like ChatGPT, but on steroids, right? Where not only is it summarizing a case, but then or listening to a patient and doctor interaction, but then it can also give the notes to the doctor, and then it can also order the prescription and help schedule the next visit, or send a follow-up information to the patient as well, and to the doctor. and to his or her staff, and send out the bill as well. And so there's so many things that an answers agent can do beyond just giving the answers. So that's truly agentive. The vision agents are some that I mentioned earlier about advanced computer vision that can detect anomalies and disorders, and I'll show you a quick example of what that looks like. And then voice agents, a conversational AI with natural speech that handles calls smoothly with smart scheduling and insurance verification and other things that it can do. So I'll actually show you that as well. So this is an example, and I pulled this from the internet, so this is not my image, but this, or my company doing this, but this is very close to what we do in other industries. We have agents, vision agents that can detect anomalies on the ground with drone footage and all sorts of kind of really cool things. But here, it's with these X-rays, it's very exciting because the AI agent has now gone in and begun to detect all these anomalies. Now, a good radiologist is going to be able to detect these for sure. There's no doubt. And I don't believe this is a replacement for those radiologists. I think this just confirms or enhances or speeds up some of the process that they have to take, especially when there's high demand for a lot of different readings that they have to make from the X-rays and so forth. But it gets even deeper when you look at CT scans and those 3D scans I was talking about as well, and being able to have that opportunity that the AI can be trained on is quite interesting. Now, these AI agents, then when they see something, this is the differentiator. What makes it agentive is not only will it see it, but then it can take action. And the action is key, right? The action is, oh, I see something, I need to notify a medical person, or I need to let the patient know immediately, which obviously it would need to probably go through a doctor if it's something life-threatening. And other things that it can do, right? So it can also, send out, for labs and other things like that. So very powerful what vision agents can do, especially in healthcare. The next one is voice agents. And what I want to do is actually want to call a voice agent live here. And so I'm going to introduce you to one of the ones we have. And so I'm going to just see if this works. Hopefully this works. It's a live demo, so you know how these go. All right, so here we go. So just give me a thumbs up when you can hear this.
Yeah.
Hello, my name is Pedro, and I'm calling from Dr. Jeff Johnson's office.
Hey, Pedro, how are you?
Hey there, I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. I'd like to verify benefits and eligibility for one of our patients. Is that okay?
Yeah, go ahead and I guess let me know the patient info.
Great, appreciate it. The patient's information is as follows. Patient name is Jane Doe. Date of birth is 01/02/1993. Member ID, policy number is ABC1234567. Group number is 765432CBA. Got all that?
Yeah, I got that. What's the provider information?
Awesome, thanks. The provider name is Dr. Jeff Johnson with NPI number 1234. Is there anything else you need?
No, that's good. That works.
Cool, thanks. Can you confirm that the patient is active and eligible for services as of today's date?
Yeah. Can you hang on a second while I check?
Sure thing. Take your time.
Okay. And while I'm looking, how's your day going so far?
Oh, it's going pretty well. Thanks for asking. Just keeping busy and making sure everything's running smoothly. How about you?
Yeah, same. Thank you. Yeah, so I can confirm that the patient is active and eligible for coverage under this plan, and the policy is current, in force, with no termination and no lapse in coverage.
Awesome. Appreciate it. Thank you for your help. Can I please have the reference number for this call and your first name and last initial in case we need to follow up?
Sure, yeah. So the reference number is 67891, and my name is Roger R.
Great. Thanks a bunch, Roger. I really appreciate your help. Thanks again for your time, and have a fantastic day.
Okay, you as well. Thank you so much. Cool. So that was a real live AI voice agent with me as the insurance company, and he was calling from a doctor's office, as you heard, to verify the insurance, and he did a pretty dang good job of it. So
And it's
maybe I'll
24/7, right? 24/7, no, yeah.
Yep, 24/7, and actually multiple calls all at once, anywhere you want, in multiple languages and different genders as well.
Wow, it's incredible.
Yes, super exciting, right? And just think about the potential of what this can bring and how fast it can speed things up and how it can take off some of the really heavy load on some of those that are working in the office and the office management and the billing and the intake side of things, right? And so I'm very excited about that, and so I'm so thrilled that I was able to share Pedro with you. This is the first time I've debuted this medical voice agent, so I was excited to be able to bring that here to our Nova event. So. Awesome. So let me, I guess, pause for a second. Should I keep going to the next slide, and then you'll let me know if there's any more questions? Or?
Well,
Yeah.
I think it would be nice. Stephanie, do you have something for Roger?
No, I just want to say to the audience, well, I will say it in Spanish because this is very important. Para los que nos escucharon, pues Roger hizo una demo real de un agente IA que él habló ahorita a las 6:41, donde ya todo el mundo está pues en sus hogares, y él le explicó a la gente sobre el número de referencia y qué es lo que ocupa. Entonces es 24/7 y si se fijaron, la conversación es bien humana y no es tan robotizada. Solo quería comentar esa parte.
Awesome. Well, I wanted to show you, oh, sorry, let me pause there. Was there anything else from that?
No,
Okay, so I wanted to show you, I wanted to show you something else. I have another agent that happens to know Portuguese. And this particular agent has to hear and listen for different recordings and different information, and then it needs to be able to restate that very same thing that it heard in Portuguese. So I know it's not in Spanish, but I just wanted you to hear how cool this is. So let me see. Hopefully this is working. So I'm going to call the agent, and then I'm going to play a soundbite. You may not hear the soundbite fully, but I'm going to try. I have it on another computer here, so let's see if I can pull this off. So. All right, so let me see here.
Aguardando mensagem.
Cheguei aqui perto, já tomou na live. Já tá perto da entrada, né, Pará?
Parece que houve problema com a mensagem. Poderia tentar novamente, por favor?
Awesome, thanks. Okay, well, let me stop there. I don't know if you caught all that, but the agent answered in Portuguese. The agent then listened to a message of a real human's voice talking in the same language, and then it understood that language and then restated that back to the human in Portuguese. And yeah, anyway, just thought I would share that with you. And of course, you can use Spanish or any other language.
How many languages do you have available?
It varies. I don't have the exact number, but it's rapidly growing.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty exciting though. That's also the first time I've debuted that on an event. So, just as for time purposes, I'll keep going here. So a lot of you might be thinking, what are the challenges in adopting this? And I know we talked earlier about the misconceptions, which I thought was a great question. But before you implement AI, you need to assess these challenges and considerations and really think through this. And obviously, the number one is the data privacy, also, and the security. Could be a misconception, but also very valid, right? So how do you navigate through HIPAA and GDPR compliance and all the other nuances with the acronyms that we all know about, patient data and information? This is, one of the highest regulated data industries in the world, and so it needs to be really thought through. And thankfully, some of the agents that we're building and the things that we're working with have some of this compliance as well. So, and then how you integrate this with existing systems, right? So these legacy systems, I think, Stephanie, you talked about, all these IT, systems that are already there in place. Some of them might be really good, but now we need AI to begin to interact with them, right? And a lot of times in the past, the thinking was, well, AI can only work well if you get all of the data in one place, in one data lake or whatever. But with AI agents, it doesn't have to work that way. They actually, as long as we can connect them through API or other means to these systems, they can go out and get the data anywhere and bring it back to a place where they can act on it. And so a lot of the time has been sped up without having to worry about all that, although there needs to still be clean data, of course. One of the other things that we should consider is bias and transparency. So just overcoming challenges in fair, explainable AI is really important. And of course, we already experience biases in healthcare, and so hopefully we can begin to push toward less and less of that with AI. And of course, making it transparent. And then the last thing to consider, and of course there's many other considerations, but one of the last things I think is very important is something I mentioned at the very beginning of the conversation, was around human touch and compassion, and how we keep empathy and trust at the heart of all care. And I think that's a very human thing still, and I think it will keep being that way in the future, right? And so, like I mentioned, if the AI detects something that is a life-threatening situation, it needs to really be in the hands of a human provider to be able to sit down with that patient and talk to them about their options and really console them and be there for them in that really troubling, tough time. And those are really, really intense moments. And we all have family members that are going through those, or even people listening to this might be. And so how important it is to be able to have good human care and touch. But what I think is very powerful with AI is that it can begin to underscore the insights to be able to lead a practitioner to compassion. So they might not have compassion right away when they look at the situation or the case, but because of the insights that AI might offer, it might actually unlock a whole different angle that they didn't realize, and they go, oh, now I understand why this patient is going through this or why this happened, and now I feel a lot more for the situation, and I can help a lot more passionately or whatever, right? So again, these are some of the challenges in adopting healthcare, but AI in healthcare, but it's also the challenges in adopting any AI, to be honest. So I guess let me pause there. I want to go into now the future of what I see for AI agents and AI in general in healthcare, and this is kind of where it can get really fun. But any other question before I jump into that?
Just one.
Go
I
ahead,
have
Stephanie.
one here.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I have one here. Well, hi Roberto, how are you? He is very impressed about the digital agents, the digital me version. And he said, like my version AI, how can I expand a medical practice of repetitive processes or tasks that can make me automate with other me version of AI?
Yeah, no, I think it's a great question. I mean, I think it goes and thank you, Roberto. And I think it's not like just limited to you and me. This answer hopefully might help any practice, but I mean, it first really starts with kind of my roots of design, which I call design thinking or even user experience. So it's understanding what's the need, what's the human need first, why you want to solve that problem with AI, why is it a problem, and then mapping out what is that process. And if you probably already know what's pretty repetitive, but sometimes we don't always know exactly how or what gets done in the incremental steps inside of that, or the micro interactions, or the micro actions. So mapping that out is a really good place to start. So once you understand the why, you understand what you're trying to, it's a need, it's a quote unquote a use case, but then mapping out that step by step is very important. Now we help with that, and I think that's the key to what we call human-centered AI is really understanding that part, because once we get that right, we know how AI is going to work with humans, but we also know how it's going to continue its task over and over and over again, right? And how it will learn and how it can evolve to the next different tasks and other things that it can do and other workflows as well. So great question, and happy to come back to it here in a bit. So let me jump into the future of AI. I'll kind of round this out, and then we'll take some questions after this. But the future of AI agents in healthcare is very exciting. And so what I believe is next for AI-driven care, collaboration, and clinical insight is something that I'm looking forward to, and I hope you are too. One of the first things is proactive care models, right? Where we will see predicting health trends and enabling preventative care. So that to me seems like low-hanging fruit, but preventative care and prediction is going to be very, very, very powerful in the future as AI evolves. Next generation AI agents that are moving beyond administrative tasks that we talked about before to cognitive assistance. So they're not actually just waiting or doing a task like, hey, I need to schedule or I need to do these micro actions in the process. Now it's thinking of what's the new process? What's the next thing? How can we make that better? How can we set up? And it creates its own process or repetitive tasks because it knows how to get something done better than we do or in a different way than we do to help us. The next one is the role of AI in personalized medicine. So AI's effectiveness really depends on the quality of data it learns from. So in the future, what the doctor does with one patient could be very different than what that same doctor does with me, right? The next one is multi-agent collaboration, where there's coordinated AI agents that work across specialties to support a whole person's care. So imagine an AI agent that is helping a doctor with dermatology, while another one is helping with rheumatoid arthritis, and another one is with neurology. But they can look at the whole entire picture and see how all of that can tie together, if it ties together, and on and on and on. And even evaluate the prescription drugs and the medication and its effects in the cycle. So imagine the whole picture. And then surgical robots and agentive assistants. This is where I believe it's going to be very, very exciting. So and I have a friend who's a doctor, a kidney doctor and liver doctor, who uses the Da Vinci robot to be able to operate on people far away, which is super exciting. But in the future, this could be also done through an AI-driven robot, where agentic systems are also supporting precision surgery, real-time decision-making, and then even post-op care coordination, which is pretty cool. Now, let me show you what I think is really, really interesting. So we've talked about how AI agents can help the practice or the doctor or the healthcare industry in general. But what about how AI can really help us as humans and patients? And so one of the things that I get really excited about is how it can potentially restore human ability with AI, where you have AI-powered vision, where smart implants and, robotic eyes might be able to have real-time image processing when somebody couldn't see before, they were visually impaired, or hearing enhancement, where adaptive sound filtering can happen for enhanced hearing. Speech restoration, where it can have restructuring of speech from brain and muscle signals. Neural AI interfaces and memory expansions. So AI-guided neural prosthetics, brain-computer interfaces, kind of like Elon Musk is doing with DeepMind, but also the ability to remember some of these things. I had created an app for an event that we were doing with Oracle, and we ended up winning the Oracle Innovation Award, the Global Innovation Award for this, and what I called it was augmented intelligence. And what it was an app that would use all of Oracle's products, but it wasn't just to help Oracle in their business, but it was also to help kids with autism, like my oldest son, who's autistic, who decorates my bookshelf behind me with all these different toys in his love language, which is amazing. But he is brilliant. He's amazing. And he has this incredible mind, incredible memory, to be honest with you. He can count forward and backwards in English, Spanish, Japanese, French. He can remember every book of the Bible, every president of the United States, and all these different facts. You can't, you and I may not be able to. But we saw early on that sometimes he would forget your name even though he's seen you 3 days in a row. Or he would forget to how to put on his shoe, even though he does that every single day, or use a toothbrush or a spoon when he eats. And so this tool, this app that we created would be able to augment, we called it augmented intelligence, augment his memory and his abilities to remind him of the things that he needs to do in a geolocated, micro-location aware way throughout the house. So wherever he goes, there was a reminder that would come through a digital means to let him know what would happen. And it would learn and know and then incentivize him for the task to help him continue to support to do those tasks. So anyway, that was just something that I wanted to share with you. And then lastly, this is super exciting. When I was working with MIT, I remember going there and spending some time through their lab, the media lab, and one of the areas is around all the different prosthetics that they have. And I get very excited about what that can do to help people, especially wounded vets and others. And we already are seeing that. But the future of just all of us having AI-driven exoskeletons to help us do more and do different things is pretty exciting, especially as we get older in our life and can't do as much. And I'm already feeling that myself. So real-time adaptive support through AI-powered exoskeletons is something that I think is going to be very exciting. But in general, all of this is so awesome. So the things that I mentioned to you before was focus on AI for healthcare. This is AI healthcare for patients. So there's two sides to this coin, and each one has so much potential. And I hope that you can see that as well. So with that, I'm going to pause and take some more questions. And again, thank you for allowing me to talk to you about AI agents and healthcare.
It's just unbelievable what we just heard and what we just saw and all the information that you share, Roger. I have a question for you related to if I am a clinician in Latin America and if I'm well versed in using AI for the help of my patients, does that mean that I can level up with any clinician in the world?
So yes, I mean, like I think it's a very, very good question. So I think where before, some practices in the world, to your point, may be out of date or underfunded or may not be able to keep up with the latest trends or the latest technology or whatever, being able to implement AI agents that relatively might be a lower bar can certainly I guess the way you put it, level up the practice, I think. And I think that goes for any business, to be honest with you, not just in healthcare.
Excellent. Stephanie, Victor Andres, do you have something else? Or maybe someone from the audience have a question?
From my end with the audience, not right now. Remember, guys, if you have any questions, this is the moment you can ask. Don't be shy. But I actually have a couple questions for you, Roger. Why do you think autonomy is the defining feature of agentic AI? And also, how does that autonomy directly translate into increased efficiency and reduce operational costs in healthcare environments?
Yeah, so I mean, I guess that's a good question, right? And I think when you think about let's think about us as humans for a minute in that same question, right? Yeah. How many times have you felt undervalued when you're micromanaged in your job, right? You want to have autonomy to be able to take the task that's been told to you or the goal, and you don't want to be told what time you have to do it, by when you have to get it done by. You just know that, hey, this is the goal. I know because I have a good work ethic, I know I'm going to get it done on time or quickly. I know that I will be able to deliver the higher quality than you even expect. However, I sometimes want to do it at night instead of during the day or whatever. So if you just let me get going with this goal or task, then I have autonomy to be able to do it and still deliver the results, right? Now, not every job's like that, and I get that, and there's a lot of the world of shift working that's very important, but even in that, there's our own autonomy within each shift, right? And so we make decisions, and that's the key right there, is the decision. And so AI having the ability to not just have to wait for the next task or wait for the next instruction or only do one particular thing and that's it. Like if you tell the robot walk to the corner of the street and and it walks there, but you didn't tell it to cross the street, then it doesn't know to go all the way across, then it's never going to get to where it needs to go. But if you tell the agent that your goal is to or the robot, your goal is to make it home, then it's going to cross all the streets it needs to get home, right? And so that, and it might take different routes to get there, right? And make its own decision based upon traffic and based upon all sorts of kind of input. So it's adapting, and it's changing, and it's also responding to the environments around it, but then completing the task without being micromanaged, if you will. So I think it's a game changer, to be honest.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, I think if we don't have any more questions, we can wrap it up. We want to express our deepest gratitude to everyone who joined us today. Your presence has been truly exciting, and what we have covered today is just the beginning. I mean, Agentive AI is opening doors in a new era for healthcare. So if you want to collaborate with Chai, if you want to collaborate with Nova, we're going to be sending information through emails. I'm going to repeat this in Spanish so that everybody catches all the information. En este momento, nosotros estamos conversando con Chai para poder llevar toda esta tecnología y todas esas oportunidades a Latinoamérica. Así es que, como ustedes pueden ver, esto tiene el objetivo de aumentar el potencial del ser humano. Es una oportunidad que es increíble y estamos muy honrados de tener a Roger con nosotros. Van a recibir información en sus correos electrónicos y vamos a comunicarnos de manera constante para que ustedes puedan ver qué es lo que está disponible para Latinoamérica, cuáles son las cosas que están haciendo la diferencia y cómo pueden ustedes estar siempre al tanto y con la mayor cantidad de contenido relevante en sus manos para tomar las mejores decisiones. Stephanie, Víctor Andrés.
Sure. Well, that's right. But let us be clear, guys. The time to act is actually now. If your organization isn't exploring agentive technologies today, you're risking being left behind in a market that's already being redefined by intelligent systems. So what's next? So if you want to stay ahead of the curve, if you are looking for trusted insights and practical use cases, and if you want to lead in this AI-powered future, you can write at contact@novacompany.com and we will assist you.
Así es, conéctense con nosotros en LinkedIn, suscríbanse a nuestro boletín informativo y visiten novacompany.com para poder obtener más información exclusiva, casos de éxito y también próximos eventos en este 2025. Esta comunidad, su comunidad, es donde convergen la atención médica y la innovación. O sea, sigan creciendo, sigan manteniéndose andando con nosotros y únanse al movimiento que está dando forma a la próxima generación de atención médica. Thank you, Roger. Thank you for joining us. I don't know if you want to say some final words to our audience.
Yeah, well, listen, well, again, thank you so much for having me. You all are just a breath of fresh air to be able to work with, and I just love the fact that your passion is and the urgency is felt, and I'm so glad I can be able to share this virtual stage with you. Thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here, and all of you that have watched or will be watching, thank you as well. I had a QR code up earlier, so if you wanted to connect with me on LinkedIn or whatever and reach out, if you have questions in the future, you can reach out to me if you'd like, or of course Nova as well. And yeah, I look forward to more conversations like this. If you want to do it again sometime, and for those of you that are in the healthcare industry, I just want to say how wonderful you are, how important you are. Thank you for all that you do for the people that you do it for. Sometimes you're the unsung hero that people don't know, and no AI can replace how amazing you are, the gifts you have, how unique you are, and the incredible care that you give to people around you. So thank you for that. Thank you for what you're doing, and I hope that you can continue to leverage AI to be able to take that even further for people all around the world.
Take care, Roger.